Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand, a bonus transfer daily for you this Sunday where we'll be talking about all the latest Manchester United transfer news and giving it that real fan opinion. I'm going to start off with, I'm not going to start off with the players underneath. I want to start off about David De Gea. I think we all know that there's a very big chance that David De Gea will leave Manchester United this summer, and PSG would, to me, be the only real option for him. I don't see Real Madrid removing Courtois and Navas to bring in De Gea. I think it's too complex when they're trying to bring in other players, i.e. maybe Pogba, Hazard, etc. So I think PSG is most likely. PSG want to win a Champions League. PSG need a decent keeper. David De Gea is the best goalkeeper in the world when he's on his game. Admittedly, he hasn't had that for the last year. And he's only got 1 year left on his contract. And the story coming out this morning is that PSG are hatching a plan. They're a little bit concerned about financial fair play, as they should be. So should Man City. For God's sake, please start looking into it. It's clearly something going wrong there. But PSG feel they can get by with the keepers they've got for another year, and they are hatching a plan to make David De Gea stay at Manchester United for another year, run his contract down, and then they will handsomely reward him next summer with huge wages because he will be available free. And this is the problem that Manchester United have got, because is it gone past the point of no return with De Gea? Even if we offered him the contract that he wants, would he now be, you know what, I am going to run my contract down anyway? It's a very dangerous situation for United with De Gea. I would love him to sign the contract because it solves all the problems. But PSG, instability at United. The point is, even if De Gea did leave Manchester United this summer, I don't think we could get anything more than 60 million. Everyone seems to be mentioning 60 million for De Gea, which is pretty much what I said about Eden Hazard. 1 year left on his contract. I mean, they're not, De Gea's not worth 60 million. He's worth a lot more. Eden Hazard is worth a lot more. But with 1 year left on your contract, it has to be part of the business negotiations. So De Gea, 1 year left on his contract, 60 million's probably about right. I mean, if he had 5 years on his contract, he'd get full value. What's the full value of De Gea? I think 100 million for a goalkeeper. I think he is that good. But 60 million quid for De Gea, I mean, and the replacement goalkeeper, we're probably going to buy someone who's got 2 or 3 years left on the contract, so we'll probably end up playing the same amount of money. So keep your eye on that with De Gea.
50% more powerful protection. Sure, it won't let you down.
It's the potential losses we're going to incur. Paul Pogba, just very, very quickly on him. I think that the ball, as I said last night, is in Paul Pogba's court. I think he's got to put in a transfer request to get a move. Do I think he'll do that? I'm undecided.
50% more powerful protection. Sure, it won't let you down.
Transfer request in publicly, it forces the arm of the club. That is probably the next thing that's going to happen, if it's going to happen. Let's talk about signing players, though. A little bit of positivity this Sunday morning. A few stories to go through. Wan-Bissaka. We spoke about Wan-Bissaka on Friday. A lot of you would like to sign Wan-Bissaka. I personally don't think it's going to happen. I really don't. I never have thought it was going to happen. Lots of reasons for that. I think he's just bought a house down in London, whatever that means anyway. But lots of different stories about Wan-Bissaka. Of course, he would be a good signing, but I think it's all a bit hot air. But the story this morning is that Crystal Palace would want 60 million quid for him anyway, which I think is the fee I said on the Friday show anyway. I think £60 million is about right for Wan-Bissaka because you pay the English tax. If he was playing in France or Italy or something like that, you'd pay 30 million for a young, potentially good right-back. But because he's English, because we're playing in the English league, £60 million is more than likely for that. So keep an eye on that. I mean, this is a player that a lot of people are excited about. Ziyech from Ajax. Winger, can play midfield as well. Had a very good season for Ajax. A lot of people have sat up and taken notice. Ajax have confirmed he will be leaving this summer, and this is because of promises made to him at the start of last season, apparently. Apparently he's available for about £25 million. He's 26 years of age. He plays for Ajax. I mean, at the end of the day, Arsenal are linked to him. United tentatively linked to him. Lots of people linked to him. He'd be a very good signing. A very good signing. Again, I don't think United will be in for him. I really don't. I can see him going somewhere else, maybe in Arsenal. But from a Manchester United point of view, a highly technical footballer with a brilliant, his pressing abilities are absolutely superb for a midfielder or a winger. And at that price, why wouldn't you be in for him? But I just feel that United aren't. I don't know why. I mean, and actually, why wouldn't we be in for him? And let me just quantify that by saying it's just a hunch that I have, because United will be linked to over 100 players this summer, guaranteed, and we'll only sign about 5. So, and all these players that we're being linked to, they could be red herrings. They could be total, nothing in it. We might not sign Daniel James. I think we will, but we might not. We might sign Ziyech. So he is available. Ajax have confirmed that. He's very, very well proven. If you look at the season he's had, he's very, very well proven. He's done it against very, very good teams. He's got the right work ethic. You see the way the Ajax team works together, the press, the movement of the ball, technically very, very good. Of course, he'd be a very good signing, and he's available for 25 million. I just don't think United will go for him. I don't. But I know a lot of you really do rate him. So let's see what happens with that. Another player that a lot of you do rate, Ndidi of Leicester. It's gone a little bit quiet with Ndidi because I think Leicester are in a position where they don't want to sell what they've got. They've brought in a new manager in Brendan Rodgers, and I think they're going to fight to keep as many players as they can. Looking at that Leicester situation, Harry Maguire, I think Harry Maguire will only leave if he's coming to Manchester United, so that involves us. Ndidi, it'd be very, very good for Manchester United in that midfield position. I mean, I'm thinking, let's get rid of Matic, let's bring Ndidi in. You get some tenacity, you get some speed. He's good on the ball, he's got a drive, he puts a tackle in. He's exactly what Manchester United need. And I think, funnily enough, if we did keep Pogba and you brought an Ndidi in behind him, you'd see a better Pogba. What Pogba needs is not Matic. Pogba doesn't need hot potato, 5 touches instead of 1. Pogba doesn't need row your boat slow, Matic, Static in the midfield. He needs somebody who gets the ball quickly and moves the ball quickly. He needs somebody who gets the ball back quickly. He needs somebody who is tenacious. That's what Pogba needs. People don't understand this. I don't think Pogba's had a great season. He had 2 or 3 months where he was superb, and then the rest of his season's just been a bit meh. But I guarantee you would see a better Paul Pogba if you put a Kante or someone like that behind him, or an Ndidi, even a Verratti. Someone like that who's just a little bit tenacious, who gets the ball and pings it off quick. Essentially, speed. That's the move. That's the word, speed. That's what Pogba needs in that midfield with him. Speed to get the ball back, speed into the tackle, speed in the movement of the ball. You don't get that with Matic, with McTominay either. With Fellaini before him. They're not that sort of midfielder. They're strong, they're tall, but they're not quick. They don't move the ball quick. They take a touch, they look, and then they pass it. And I think Ndidi would be great for that. Whether United can get him, I just feel that Ndidi is probably ungettable. Now, nobody's ungettable, but Leicester are in a very strong position. He's only 22 years of age. They're the ones who've bought him. He's only been there a year, I think. Maybe a little bit longer. And I just think Leicester will resist. I think Leicester, where they finished in the league, considering Brendan Rodgers came in quite late, I think they'll look at their team. I think they've got a very good team, and they'll want to keep as much of it as they can. They're not, they won a title. They're not a poor club. So it would take a lot of money. I mean, I've put 45 million for Ndidi. I'd be interested to see what you lot think, because I think you might go a little bit higher than that, especially when you think Wan-Bissaka's 60. But 45 million might tempt their arm, and I think 45 million would be something I'd be very happy to pay with him. But I don't know whether we're going to go for that type of midfielder, but I really do think it's very important that we go for that type of midfielder. Somebody who can play that centre defensive midfield role, because I mentioned Matic last night. I'm worried he's going to be a first teamer next year. And having a slow centre midfielder who takes so many touches on the ball, it's the tempo of your team. It dictates your team. That is such an important position. Michael Carrick used to do it for United. Scholesy used to do it a bit. It dictates the pace of your team. And if Matic is the dictator of the pace of the team, then we're going to be a slow, lethargic team. That's the bottom line. And we can sign all the good box-to-box midfielders we like to replace Herrera. But if you don't have a centre defensive midfielder who, is quick in everything, tackle, movement, getting the ball back, then it slows the whole team down. And my fear is that it will be Matic next year. So I would love us to go and sign a centre defensive midfielder. I think it's something I've been mentioning for 6-7 months now. But I don't necessarily think we will. Because I think we'll look at Matic and go, well, he's on big money, he's experienced. But they're the sort of players you've got to jettison out the team. They're the brave decisions. Getting rid of Sanchez isn't a brave decision. He's a negative impact on the squad for various reasons. But getting rid of players in your starting 11 because actually they're the wrong sort of player, that's where the bravery comes in. And I don't think we'll do it. But I would love Ndidi to be that player for Manchester United. I really would. I think he'd be absolutely superb. And that's just the way I feel about it. I don't know about you. There are other options for that position, but I think the role, the type of player we've got to go for, look at people like Ndidi, look at Thomas Partey, look at N'Golo Kante, look at Verratti, look at those types of midfielder that when they get the ball, they move it off quick. When they get the ball back, they press. They're good in the tackle. That's what United need to look for in that position. But I fear that it will be Nemanja Matic playing in that position next season. Just very, very quickly, we've been linked to the Ajax goalkeeper as well, Anana, I believe is how you pronounce it. I'd rather go for him than Cillessen. I really would. Because Cillessen as a reserve goalkeeper at Barcelona who's older than De Gea, I just don't think that's the calibre of goalkeeper we want. You know, you want a goalkeeper who is a first-team goalkeeper for the team that we're getting them from. I don't want Barcelona's reserve goalkeeper coming in to replace David De Gea, who's been a Player of the Year 5 times in the last 6 years. I don't want that. I want a goalkeeper. If De Gea's going, I want a goalkeeper coming here with some calibre, with some hunger, with you know, somebody else's first-team keeper, because that's, you know, we're losing one of the best goalkeepers in the world if De Gea goes. So Anana's interesting. I don't know. It just doesn't feel quite right. A little bit like Ziyech. I just don't see us doing it. But if De Gea goes, we're really gonna. It's gonna be very interesting what we do. I know a lot of you like Romero, but I can't settle for Romero. Romero in a Premier League season will make too many mistakes because his ball handling from crosses is not that good. He's a good cup goalkeeper. I don't think he's a week-to-week Premier League goalkeeper. And also, whatever anybody thinks about Romero or Cillessen, the cold, harsh fact is De Gea is absolutely streets ahead of those. You've got to try and get a goalkeeper who is as close to De Gea as possible. And I don't think Romero or Cillessen are anywhere near. There are better options out there, and that's what United will need to do, because you can't have a drop-off. We're already losing Herrera, who's one of our best midfielders. Maybe we'll bring in 2 midfielders who are better than Herrera. Hopefully we will do. But if if De Gea goes, you don't want to have a drop-off. You want to try and maintain quality and build quality. We will have a drop-off if we lose De Gea. We will have a drop-off if we lose Pogba, because they are top-quality players. And if they do go, you've got to replace them with very, very, very good players. I'll just bring Gareth Bale in here. Gareth Bale still keeps getting mentioned with Manchester United, and it worries me because I really do feel that the board think that Gareth Bale would be a great signing because he's British and he's a superstar and you know, he'll sell shirts and this, that, and the other. But so I said this at the start of summer. I'm scared that we're going to sign Gareth Bale. I think it ticks every single box of the mistakes that United have made recently. But the big problem with me with Bale is that there's no future in it. There's no future in it. I think he's 30 this summer, and he's just not the right sort of player. In a best case scenario, look, if we sign Gareth Bale, I will back him. It's not a personal thing. I hope it works. But if we sign Gareth Bale, the best we could get is maybe 2 years of prime Gareth Bale, and then he's gone. But we're not going to be ready to win a title in the next 2 years. So it sort of defeats the purpose. Gareth Bale comes in, does really, really well in a team that's not ready to win a title. So we maybe get 3rd or 4th a couple of years in a row as we build our team. Then Bale goes because he's finished. So it's a glamour signing. It's a potentially exciting signing. If we get the best Gareth Bale there is, it could be a really interesting signing. But Gareth Bale can't win the Premier League on his own. The Premier League's not like that anymore. You can't do it with one individual player. You've got to be a team. Look at Liverpool, look at City. These are amazing teams accumulating nearly 100 points. You can't do it with an individual anymore. And I just feel that even if we got the best Gareth Bale we could get, you're only going to get 2 years out of him, and the team won't be ready then. So it's pointless. I would rather not get Bale and bring in players that actually in 2 years' time we build together, we grow together, and then when we are ready to win a title, they can maybe give us another 3 or 4 years, whereas Bale won't be able to do that. But that's just how I feel about it. But I just feel that, well, Bale's leaving Real Madrid, we all know that. What are his options? We've just spoken about PSG and financial fair play. I don't think they can afford Gareth Bale. So who can afford Gareth Bale? Put your hand up. Manchester United. You know, this is why I'm worried about Bale, because Real Madrid want rid of him. Who else can afford Gareth Bale? Who else wants Gareth Bale? There's no team in England that wants Gareth Bale. Maybe Spurs, but they can't really afford it. Nobody else in Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea. Maybe Chelsea, but I don't think they will. So United, the standout target. Oh yeah, we've got loads of money and we love that sort of signing. So I think United, Juventus won't want him, Bayern Munich won't want him, PSG I don't think can afford him. So, and China, the transfer window's not open, is it? So it's United by default, and we'll be rubbing our hands thinking, yeah, we're great, and behind closed doors, Real Madrid will be rubbing their hands going, mug, they're the only ones who could have him, and we got 80 million for him. So, yeah, it does worry me a little bit about Gareth Bale, to be honest with you. Talking about just very, very quickly, Marcus Rashford at Manchester United, obviously. There's talk of his wages going up to £300,000 a week. There's talk of Rashford not being particularly happy. There's talk about United not being particularly happy with Rashford because he stopped taking players on. Look, start off, if Marcus Rashford's on £100,000 a week, he shouldn't be given any more than 150. That's me telling you, and I'm sure you're telling me, United's problem with transfers is that our wages structure is terrible. Luke Shaw shouldn't be on nearly 180 grand a week if that's what he's on. Lukaku should not be on £250,000 a week. He should be on 150. And Marcus Rashford, actually, if you look at Rashford's career for England and Manchester United, does he warrant any more than 150 grand a week? No, he doesn't. He's not at that level. He's not consistently scoring a lot of goals. He's not consistently playing very well. He's a brilliant talent, but you've got to keep him hungry. And 150 grand a week, I don't think he's worth any more than that at the moment. To say 200 grand a week, to say 300 grand a week, I mean, you're talking about players like Kevin De Bruyne there. That's the sort of standard they're on. And you look at somebody like, look at De Ligt at Ajax. God knows what he's on there. But they've just got to a Champions League semi-final. They should have got to the final. They've just won their title. He will now go to Barcelona and earn a lot of money. But I bet he was on hardly anything at Ajax because he's motivated, he's professional. And United players, just all we ever hear about is how much money they're on and how much more money they're on than anybody else who plays for clubs who are winning things. So I want United to start having a hard line, and I don't care who it's with. I don't care whether it's Rashford, who's come through the youth setup, or Sanchez, who we bought for loads of money. We need to have a hard line. I would rather United went back to being a club that doesn't pay the top wages and actually just has players who wants to play for this football club. Because there are clubs like that. Liverpool don't pay huge wages. Man City actually don't pay huge wages. So why are we paying huge wages as the biggest club in England? We are the biggest club in England. People need to realise that because we are. We've got the biggest fan base. We've got the biggest history. We've got the biggest, we're just a massive club. We're not on ability, we're the 7th or 6th best club in the world. But we're a big draw with a big history. And that's what you need. You need to get players to want to come to this club. Not players going, I'm going to leave if you don't give me 200 grand a week. And I'm not saying that's what Rashford's saying. But on Rashford, I mean, he's so bad at the moment, I wouldn't be giving him a new contract. I'd be saying, look, you can want whatever you want. You're not having a new contract. Come back next season and show us what you're all about. Have the bravery to do that, because we did it with the likes of Herrera. We've let his contract run down. We've let De Gea's contract run down. Let Rashford's run down. Let's see if Rashford, under pressure of having to earn a new contract, can actually do it. And if he comes back next season and he's one of the best strikers in the league, you've just justified giving him the big wage anyway. So that's what I would do. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Smash a like on the video. Get your comments in below. What your thoughts on Ziyech? What your thoughts on Wan-Bissaka and Didi? Is there any other centre defensive midfielder you think we should be looking at or could be looking at? De Gea situation, how are you feeling about that? Are you confident he's going to stay? 60 million if he goes this summer, or will he stay for another year and go for free and we lose another asset for nothing? Yeah. And Rashford, what's your situation with Rashford? How are you feeling about it? Give him a new contract. Don't give him a new contract. Get your comments in below. I'm back again at 8 o'clock tonight. Make sure you follow me on Instagram because I'm playing in a charity game today up at Leicester City at Goldbridge Mark there. So smash a like, subscribe. I'll see you at 8 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Get your comments in below.